Hey Michelle, how's your day going? It's another gorgeous day down here at the Warehouse of Dreams in beautiful sunny Oneonta, New York. Absolutely gorgeous day. Trying to get on here and stay consistent with you guys. I've been really busy. Got phone calls and stuff going all day long. Hey Microman, hi Beauregard. Very busy today, but I wanted to get on here and talk about running. I'm not a huge fan of running, but we're seeing great results with our athletes. So let me spin this around. I'm down here at the Warehouse of Dreams. It's my gym in Oneonta. I own Cooperstown CrossFit. And I get on here once a day at least to talk about some health and fitness tips. We talk about nutrition, training, sleep, stress management, lots of great tips. If you're trying to get healthy, if you're trying to be athletic. And today I want to talk about running. So hopefully you guys do some running. Love it or hate it, you got to do it. So thanks for jumping on. Hopefully you enjoy the discussion we're going to get into here in a second. I've got a class starting in a few minutes, but I just wanted to get on and talk about running. I'm not a huge fan. My sport is weightlifting. Not that I'm great at it, but I like snatch, clean, and jerk. Running is not my favorite thing. But as an athlete, we all need to do it. And as human beings, we need to do it. Thanks, Hans Tot. Hans Tot says, I like your beard. I appreciate it. Thank you. Planet Antonio's on here, Goldman, Valeria, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are having a great day, evening, great night, wherever you're at. I'm here in upstate New York. I own a CrossFit gym, and I get on here once a day talking about health and fitness. Have you ever ran away from the cops? Yeah, I ran away from the cops. My senior year of high school, I didn't actually start drinking alcohol until I was like in my late 20s. So I went to a party in my senior year of high school, and half the people there were drinking and half the people weren't, and the cops showed up and we all ran, and I'm hiding in the bushes going, oh my god, the cops are going to bust me. I'm like, wait, I didn't drink anything, and I just got up and walked away. So yes, I have run away from the cops. That's a great question. That's funny. That brings up some good memories. So thanks for asking. I appreciate that. Hello from Syracuse. Hey Fit Mouse Marcy, how you doing? So I run a CrossFit gym. Most CrossFit athletes hate running. Not that I hate running, but it's not my favorite thing. But we need to do it. It is yes, Jesse Medina saying, run y'all. We need to do it. As human beings, it's one of our major movement patterns. So we're really good at squatting. Kip up pull-ups, destroy shoulders. Exactly. Flight 411, that's a fantastic point. My athletes, I have them work on strict pull-ups and weighted pull-ups. We actually have weighted pull-ups in the program today. We only kip when people have that requisite strength. At the bottom of the swing on a kipping pull-up, you're generating up to 3 times body weight on that shoulder joint. So I do use kipping pull-ups when it's appropriate, when we're looking to produce high power output. But most of our training, we stay with strict pull-ups and weighted pull-ups because you're going to get more bang for your buck out of weighted pull-ups. But thanks for that. That's a great, great point. I'm on here today to talk about running. If you hate it, if you love it, you still got to do it. It is one of our fundamental movement patterns as human beings. We can squat, we can jump, we can press, we can pull. There's all these different ways we can move, but running is a really important way that we move. The reason I'm bringing this up today is training CrossFit. Throughout the winter in upstate New York, the weather's pretty crummy and not really conducive to running. We try to get out there as much as possible. But right now, the weather has been fantastic. Thanks for tuning in, Sisu Fitness UK. Sisu is a fantastic philosophy. We try to get out as frequently as possible. I mean, I'll turn the camera around for a second. The weather this summer has pretty much looked like this consistently. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Why wouldn't you want to run outside in that? Absolutely gorgeous. The reason I'm talking about running today is our athletes. We've been working on running here at the CrossFit gym. I own Cooperstown CrossFit in Oneonta, New York. And this summer, by increasing our running, our work capacity is going through the roof. Our athleticism is going through the roof. Fit Mouse Marcy says, I use the treadmill in winter, too afraid of falling, slipping while running in winter. Great point, Fit Mouse Marcy. If you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. But you can learn how to run in icy conditions. It adds another level to it. You won't run as fast. My history with running, I will run year-round. and just figure out how to run on that slippery stuff. It's not great. I've got an athlete here that he's a Spartan racer. He just hit the podium last weekend for the first time in his life. He's really crushing his goals right now. And he ran all winter. He was running between 100 and 200 miles a month. Didn't fall down at all. And then in the springtime, when the weather got better, he tripped on a crack in the pavement and hurt himself. Not really bad, but it was just, for him, it was like, what the hell? I made it all winter without slipping, and here it is beautiful, and I just fell. So it's a little silly. But are we a WWE fan? Wrestling? Is there a different kind of WWE? I think WWE is wrestling. My grandfather watched it a lot. I thought it was funny, but I don't watch TV. I got a lot of stuff I want to do with my life, and watching TV is not high on my priority list. So if it's another type of WWE, let me know. I think it's kind of fun stuff. Those guys are pretty crazy. Emma Farr. I find it hard to keep fit because I was born with a muscle deficiency. What can I do? I've seen a lot of people, you'd be surprised the number of athletes that I train, Emma, that are either injured or have some kind of congenital issue holding them back. I do have quite a few of my athletes, a pretty significant portion of them, are dealing with something, and they're really making great progress. So don't ever think, doctors don't know about chronic health, they know about acute health. So don't ever feel like you're limited. If you go out there and find a really good coach, they will work with you and meet you where you're at and help you make huge progress. I've seen really neat stuff here at my gym and at other gyms. People with neurological disorders, muscular disorders, actually achieve things that you wouldn't think possible. So if I was to go on and rattle on about that, you probably wouldn't believe me. But my call to action for you, Emma, would be just to start calling every coach in your area and talk to them and see if you can work with them, set up a session, go in and meet them, and find out if they'll work with you. Because I believe that you can do amazing things no matter what your situation is. And I say this pretty frequently on here. I'm a huge fan of human beings, and so I challenge anybody right now, can you name a terrestrial species? That means a species that lives on the surface of the planet. I'm not talking about stuff that's aquatic, living under the water, but can you name a terrestrial species other than human beings that can survive and thrive from pole to pole and everywhere in between? Because if you look at the planet, I don't know of any other species that can live at the North Pole, the South Pole, the equator, and everywhere in between. I think we're probably the most resilient, most adaptable species in the universe. I have yet to see anything else that compares to a human being. So Emma, don't feel limited. Actually, you've got a lot of stuff you can do, and you're going to make some huge progress. Find a coach, find somebody that will work with you. And if they're doing it right, and if their heart's in the right place, they're going to break down barriers and make sure you get what you want, okay? So my call to action to Emma is to find a coach, and that's usually my call to action for anybody on here, is to find a coach. I've got two coaches. I am a coach. I own a CrossFit gym, but I also have a weightlifting coach, and I have a business coach. So definitely, we all can benefit from working with a coach. You'll see in the medical community, especially for surgeons, there's a really great movement right now where surgeons are hiring more experienced surgeons to come in and coach them through their surgeries and to observe them and give them pointers and stuff. So everybody can really benefit from a coach. FitMouse Marcy. This is great info. I'm loving your channel. Thanks. Well, thank you, FitMouse Marcy. I'm glad you like it. I'm no genius, but I really believe in human beings, and I really hope that this information, it's pretty basic stuff, but I really hope that it can help everybody, because what I've seen in my health and fitness, here I am at 43, I'm in better shape now than I was in my teens and 20s. And then what I see with my athletes, it's just remarkable. So start working at a CrossFit gym or find a coach that will work with you and really start busting down barriers. But I just wanted to hop on here today because we've been doing a lot of running this summer. I'll flip the camera around again. The weather is absolutely gorgeous this summer. It's so beautiful that we've done a lot of running this year. And what I have noticed, and I'll turn the camera around again, athletes is the more we run, the more athletic they're becoming, the more their work capacity is increasing. Just everything's going through the roof. And that's basically what we've added to the program. My program uses gymnastics, weightlifting. We use, here's our pull-up rig. We use barbells, kettlebells, dumbbells, things like that, body weight stuff. And then we add running in, jumping rope. If I had extra bicycles, we'd throw bicycles into the mix and things like that. But running is a very fundamental movement pattern for human beings. And so, love it or hate it, you have to do it. Now, say you do hate running. How do you get started getting excited about running? One of my favorite ways to get people started on running is to just do the telephone pole game. And what you'll do is you'll just go out in your neighborhood and walk from one pole to the next. And then you run to the next pole, walk to the next pole, run to the next pole, walk to the next pole. And make it a game, make it fun. If you have a bunch of friends to get it together, we used to do that same type of idea when I was a kid. We'd have 10 of us just running down the street, and the person at the back of the line would have to sprint to the front. So the whole group would be jogging, and whoever was at the back would sprint to the front. And when they got to the front, the person in the back would sprint to the front. So there's lots of really fun strategies to get you running if you hate running. You don't have to run huge distances to have tremendous gains. If you are a distance athlete, the armbar bear. Oh, I hated those Indian runs. It reminds me of football. Yeah. Armbar bear. That's a great name, dude. I assume you're a dude. Sorry if you're not. I love that name. That's really cool. And I like your icon there. That's really awesome. But if you're a distance runner, you don't need to put in a shit ton of distance to be a really successful distance runner. Depending on the size of your body and stuff, you can probably get a lot more bang for your buck by doing a lot of sprints, a lot of intervals. You definitely want to warm up really well before you get into sprinting. I don't want you guys pulling your hamstrings or anything. So do a really dynamic, active warm-up. That would be like dragging stuff, sled pushes, maybe have somebody wrap a rope around you and you pull them as you try to sprint away from them. And you want those hamstrings really warmed up before you go out and sprint. The longer you're going to run, the less of a warm-up you need. But the shorter you're going to run, the more of a warm-up you're going to need. So say your sprint workout is only a 10-minute workout, I'm going to want you warming up for 45 to 50 minutes and then do your little 10-minute sprint workout, okay? So be safe out there. Running, love it or hate it, you got to do it. I'll be on here again. I'm on here at least once a day with some health and fitness tips. Any tips in conditioning for competing in MMA, such as fighting 3-4 minute rounds? Yeah, I mean, I'm not on here to totally preach CrossFit, but it's a really good corollary to what you're going to expect in the ring, because our workouts are typically short, intense, really powerful. Brian K. Still amazed how little mileage I have to do running-wise, and I can still do well in a race. That's cool, Brian. Brian, you're Brian Kellogg, right? You are a very light guy. I mean, you were built to run. And then, like our athlete, Kevin, he's bigger than me. He's a huge dude. And so his running routine, he actually has to put on extra miles just to keep up with you, Brian. He's so much bigger. So depending on your body size and how you're built, you can really not run a lot and be an amazing runner. So we'll just adjust the training accordingly. So armbar bear, hopefully that question about MMA, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. Do high intensity interval training, functional movements. Isn't Kevin awesome? Brian here is saying that he met Kevin. He kicked my ass last weekend. He's an amazing guy. He is on fire right now. He set a goal of hitting the podium, and so he just did, and he's not resting on his laurels. He's going to keep crushing it. So armbar bear, if you're still on here, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. Do some high-intensity interval training, functional movements, squat heavy, deadlift heavy, press heavy, do some gymnastic stuff, and make it high intensity. There's armbar bear. So yeah, it doesn't have to be CrossFit, armbar bear, training for MMA, high-intensity interval training. And do it in that 3 to 4 minute range. Do it in a 5-6 minute range. If you can train really fucking hard for 6-7 minutes, then a 3 to 4 minute round is not going to seem that big a deal. So with that high intensity interval training, start out, scale it to wherever you're at so that you can move for the entire time period. Say you're doing a little 7 minute cycle of deadlifts. Like today we're doing deadlifts and handstand push-ups. So I want you to scale the weight and scale the handstand push-up to something that you can just do unbroken, okay? And make it a 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute, 6-minute workout. Just go, go, go for that time period. And then when you get into the ring, you're going to be able to go, go, go for that 3-4 minute round. We want to have that metabolism really efficient. We want to have you accessing and utilizing your energy super efficiently. So that high intensity interval training is going to get you there. So CrossFit's what I do, and that's what I recommend for most people. It doesn't have to be CrossFit. It can be some high intensity interval training in some other modality. But you want it to be functional movement, stuff that you do because we're human beings. We have certain movement patterns we have to be proficient in, like running. That's what I'm talking about is running today. We also have to be able to stand up and sit down. That's a squat. We have to be able to put loads over our head. That would be a press. There's so many different things as human beings that we have to be able to do. And if we're not proficient in one of those, like running, we're not going to be fully proficient as a human being. So hopefully that made sense. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to hop off now. I've got an athlete I'm going to be training right now, but I just want to get on here and stay consistent with you guys. I do health and fitness tips at least once a day. I own a CrossFit gym. You're welcome, Armbar Bear. If you want to follow me and just chime in next time if you have more questions about the high-intensity interval training. There's a lot of cool strategies we can do so that you can just crush it in the MMA ring. All right, brother. Thanks for tuning in. You're welcome, Brian. Thanks for tuning in. Sisu Fitness UK, thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great night. It's got to be late over there. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the comments. Follow me if you like the information. I get on here at least once a day. So I'll talk to you guys later.